Awaken to hair growth. Awaken to hair growth because there is possibility to get your hair back. Awaken to hair growth because we're not told that we're able to conquer and overcome alopecia. Awaken to hair growth because I want to be a positive light and beacon for you because I've healed my alopecia and now I help others do the same with different types of alopecia, men, women, children of all ages, of all races and ethnicities.
Welcome back, everybody, to the Alopecia Angel podcast. I am your host, Johanna Dahlman, and today I wanted to start by acknowledging all the medical professionals, the doctors and the dermatologists that have been referring their clients to me. I take huge honor in this, and I also welcome anyone who is in the healthcare profession to recommend their clients to me, because many times it's letting go of the ego and also seeing what's best for the client. And many times we can go to a professional, in this case, a doctor or a dermatologist, and say, okay, we have alopecia or we have hair loss, and what can you do for me? And sometimes their toolkit doesn't allow them to offer more, provide more. They'll say, okay, you have Rogaine, okay, you have steroid injections, or you have, this prescription, but what else is there? And if you follow me, it's because you want a natural solution, right? And so those options are not attainable. They're not available, and they're non-negotiable, really. And as they were for me, they were non-negotiable. I didn't want medications to hinder my health, to hinder my fertility, to hinder my future self, just to get my hair back. I knew there was a better way. And so I just wanted to start the podcast this morning by saying thank you to all those doctors and dermatologists who are referring their clients to me, because it's a huge honor and I'm very flattered by it. And at the same time, I do have many clients who are in the health and wellness profession. They are personal trainers, they are pharmacists, they are nurses, they are nurse practitioners, chiropractors, physical therapists. I even have an actual MD who's in my program right now. And so just because you are a doctor, just because you have a higher degree or a different degree than what's thought of possibilities for you, sometimes you could still hit a dead end. And so for those of you who aren't in the health and wellness industry, understand that not always do they have the answer. Not always do they have the ability or the support, even from their own communities, to provide and say, hey, there is a natural way, this is the way, and this is the way to do it. And in my research of healing alopecia, I've come across just endless amounts of doctors who have this tunnel vision. They're educated one way and they won't veer off of it because that's how they were educated. It's kind of like how we grow up in the US thinking that Christopher Columbus discovered America. And then all of a sudden, history is at a standstill because now all of a sudden there's other people who apparently have discovered America way earlier than Christopher Columbus. And so it's these types of things where not everything that we've been taught is 100% correct. Not everything that we do is 100% correct. And healthcare actually has a lot of these mishaps, right? There was a time in the 60s and in the 70s where everyone, including doctors, were saying that smoking tobacco and cigarettes were healthy for you, and they recommended it to people. And this is where they had enormous amounts of pregnant women and men, and everyone was doing the most glamorous thing, and the most modern thing to do at that time was to smoke cigarettes. And, besides all the other drugs that were probably going on in the 60s. But, at the same time, they were in court, they were in front of judges, they were in front of the Supreme Court, and they were still fighting tooth and nail that tobacco was healthy. Lo and behold, it took, several years later, decades later, until 1989-ish, that we realized, okay, tobacco isn't healthy. You're right. We need to start doing something about this. But it was a slow process. I was in California in 1989, and you would go into a restaurant and you had the smoking section and the non-smoking section. Even in fast food places, you would have a smoking section and a non-smoking section. On airplanes, they allowed for everybody to smoke. cigarettes on the airplane back in the day. And so these are things that we thought, quote unquote, that this was healthy for us. And we obviously know that it's not healthy. But these are things that medicine, healthcare, the system has been, has had their mistakes, has had their mishaps. And today, actually, I saw and I posted on Instagram on the stories where New York Times article came out showing that the pediatric units in many hospitals across the US are closing down. And the main reason is because of profits. And that's startling to hear because you think about it, right? Is healthcare there for us to help us? Why are they taking things away when potentially somebody might need it, right? And so this is a problem that they're seeing in many cities where if you read the article, it tells you that because there's not enough profits that they are going to close down these pediatric units across the US. And then, of course, let's say it's you and your child who has the problem of XYZ and you guys need a pediatric unit. And then guess what? It's not going to be available. So you're going to have to go maybe to another city, or you're going to have to go to another state, or you're going to have to go to another area or have a long wait line or a long wait list to get in to see the correct care that your child needs. This is a problem because that's what they're doing with schools, right? It's called budget cuts. And they took away music and they took away the arts and they took away, so many things that were extracurricular, like physical education for many, or recess, when all these things are very important to the development of children or to their health care and their well-being. And so there's a dichotomy, right? Because healthcare is a business and they see profits over people. And when you come across a situation when you're in a dire need like alopecia, and then you hit a wall, right? You're hitting a wall at no solutions, no results, no help. And then on top of it, I hear it. Number one complaint from all my clients is that it takes forever and a day to see a doctor. It takes forever and a day to get real results. It takes forever and a day to have this vicious cycle end, right? Because you're hitting a wall. They're not really listening to you. They're just kind of like trying to plug in these medications, and these medications aren't working. These medications aren't the answer. These medications will not give you results long-term. So my heart goes out to all of those that are suffering currently with hair loss and alopecia, even if it isn't autoimmune, because either way, it's still detrimental. It's still traumatizing. It's still causing angst. It's still causing many emotions, many concerns, right? Body, mind, and spirit. And so this is where Alopecia Angel is here to support you, is here to help you, and here to tell you that there is healing, there is reversal, regardless of the types of alopecia that you have. And so today, going off my tangent now, today we are talking about limiting beliefs. And limiting beliefs hold you back. They hold you back from what you want. They hold you back from going for the gold, right? In the Olympics terms. It holds you back from doing your best. It holds you back from really achieving what it is that you want, which is your hair. You want your hair back. And a lot of times, if we believe what other people tell us, if we believe what they're saying to us, that there's no cure, that there's no this, that there's no possibility, that, no options for you, or your follicles are dead, and this is it, and that's it, and this is your destiny, and so accept it and be done with it. No. That's not the way to go. That's not the way to go, because that's going to hold you back from not being your best self. It's going to hold you back from so much of what life is trying to give you. And I truly believe alopecia was a huge challenge. It was definitely my Mount Everest, but in the same vein, it also taught me enormous amounts of lessons, of life lessons. And you really have to dig deep to you have to go through the muck, right? You have to go through the mud to get to the tunnel, to get through to the rainbow, to get through to the other side. You really do. And it's been a beautiful journey for me and for all of my clients as well, because once you know better, you do better. Once you have the information in your hands, that's it. All you have to do is follow it. So anyways, today we're talking about limiting beliefs, and potentially one of these might trigger you. Potentially one of these is something that you're saying to yourself. Potentially, with this limiting belief, it's really taken away the spark in life. It's taken away what's possible for you. And so let's go ahead and begin. Let's get into this. So number one, that there's no cure for alopecia. I had somebody post this on a comment on one of my social media posts the other day of, oh, sorry, there's no cure for alopecia. Granted, this was a wig company, posting this. So more than likely it was because they're trying to attract people to buy their wigs. But in any case, there is healing. And not to say that just because your DNA demonstrates autoimmunity or demonstrates hair loss or demonstrates alopecia in right now, doesn't mean that it can't go away and it can't just go back to hibernation for the rest of your life. For example, there's a book called The Body Heals, or The Body Knows How to Heal Itself. Something like this. I'll get you the author and I'll put it in the show notes. But it talks about this author who's a physician and who has seen over 3,000 clients, over 3,000 breast cancer clients. And he was saying that over the 20, 30 years of his career, he saw only 4% of those breast cancer clients actually have the BRCA gene, right? The BRCA gene, which is the gene that predisposes you to breast cancer. And so, for example, if your mom has it, if your grandma has it, and all the females in your family have breast cancer, more than likely you may have the gene. This is something you can test for. But in any case, going back to the story. So in this book, he's talking about how out of those 3,000 patients, only 4% actually had the BRCA gene. The other, 96%, it came out of diet and lifestyle. It came out of other situations. It came out of something else. It wasn't gene related. And this actually kind of goes in tangent with the genetics podcast that I had about twins and about how you can have two twins, same DNA, same everything, same upbringing. But then later on in life, right, once they're 18, they move out of their house and they have different life experiences. They have their own life experiences. They're not, dressing up as twins anymore, this type of thing. And, one tends to be healthier. The other one tends to be very unhealthy. And why is that? Well, it's because their diet and their lifestyle have taken them on two different routes, right? It's kind of like, do you choose one way or the other way? Which road are you choosing in your life? And so in this case, with the breast cancer patients that this doctor had, only 4% had the gene and everyone else didn't. And so 4% is a very small number. So just because you have the gene for alopecia, like I do, doesn't mean you have to go through it. Doesn't mean you have to live with it for the rest of your life. Doesn't mean that it has to be manifested. Doesn't mean it does have to be awake. This giant could be put back to sleep. And for me, it's been over 7 years. And as you can see, I have tons of hair. I have my eyelashes, I have my eyebrows, and all the rest of the hair on my body, and everything's great. And so, no, we can't change our genes, but yes, we can change our future. Yes, we can change our destiny. Yes, we can get healthier. Yes, we can do something about our alopecia. Yes, we can create a better life. Yes, we can grow our hair back. Yes, we can put alopecia to sleep. So many times what you're Googling or what you're seeing online is, in my opinion, fake news. In my opinion, it's not the whole picture. In my opinion, it's just one side of the coin, because you can say, oh, I have the BRCA gene. Oh, I have this. Oh, I have that. And that's it. This is my destiny. This is what's going to happen to me. It doesn't have to be this way. It really doesn't. We have so much more control over our health and wellness, over our well-being, over our mental, spiritual, emotional, physical health than what we give ourselves credit for. So that's the first part. Understanding that what people say is just a projection of what they believe. So for example, if someone says you're fat, okay, that's someone's opinion. That's their projection about me. That's their projection of themselves on me. And I don't need to take in their opinion. And in, many ways, they're garbage thoughts, because those garbage thoughts clearly haven't led them to be happier or be healthier. So when someone says something negative to me, I look at it from all angles. It's not just one thing or the other. When someone posts something saying, oh, there's no cure for alopecia, well, it's their projection on me or on my community. It's not that it's a fact, because I healed it. I post constantly of my clients who are healing it from different types of alopecia, regardless of how long they've had it. And so I know it's possible for everyone. It's just, right? We have to want it enough to do it. Another limiting belief is thinking, oh, I can't heal it. This option, this route won't work for me. And the thing is, it's like, how do you know it won't work if you don't try? And I kind of understand people who are, hesitant, right? Sometimes they want to heal, but they want the quick and easy fix. They want to just pour the shampoo on their heads. They want to just, put a cream on or make it very simple for them to incorporate this into their lives. But that's not it. That's the thing. What got you here won't get you there, right? What got you here to this place of hair loss is not the same strategy that you're using now for your current hair loss is not going to help you get and obtain the results you want. That's just it. It won't. Your education from elementary school is not going to help you pass the bar exam. Does that make sense? It's two different things. It's really big and ginormous in scope. And so your elementary degree of like K through 8th grade is not going to help you pass the bar exam. The bar exam, for those of you who don't know, it's the exam, the final exam to become an attorney, right? And it's not going to help you pass that. It just won't, because there's a big gap of information that's missing, a big gap. And that's what's happening in today that I see. It's like before my clients start the program, they have one train of thought, one idea of what's going on. They begin their program and it's like this big bang of information. It's this big amount of a gap that's closing. The gap is closing from one end of the spectrum to the other. And so thinking and saying, I can't heal, this isn't going to work for me, that's just holding you back. Because if you're not going to try for yourself, then no one else will. It's like if we have limiting beliefs, then guess what? You get to keep them. You get to keep these limiting beliefs. And the only person who can take you out of your funk, out of this, stuck place is you. No one else is going to come save you. And so if you think, oh, woe is me, this is it, I'm going to go bald, this is it, I'm already bald, I'm going to be bald for the rest of my life. Well, then so be it. You've already just proclaimed the rest of your life. But if you say, nope, I'm bald today, I'm going to get my hair back. Nope, I'm losing my hair today, I'm going to get my hair back and it'll be better than before. You can do this. You can do this. You really can. And it's just amazing to see the consistency of testimonials that clients tell me, that clients demonstrate when you just put in a little effort. That's all it takes. It's just a little effort and a lot of self-love, right? Because you need to put yourself first. You are the priority here. You need to make yourself a priority. And so, for example, when I was going through alopecia, all the distractions went away. All the outings, all the everything went away. I was so hyper focused on this endeavor. I was so hyper focused on accomplishing this goal of getting my hair back, of feeling back to normal, of wanting to feel and be functioning again. And for those of you who are the parents going or listening to this for your children, understand it's much more than hair loss. Understand there's like mental disruptions, there's physical disruptions, there's emotional ramifications. There's a lot of things going on there that people aren't able to truly vocalize. And I only say this from experience because I went through this in my 30s and it was absolutely devastating. It really was. And I couldn't even vocalize all the tsunami of feelings and emotions and physical things that were happening all at the same time of going through alopecia. This is not going to be found in a textbook, people. This is called your experience. This is called your life. And, if it's so hard for someone who was 30 something to vocalize this, I mean, you can't expect your child to be able to vocalize this. That's all I got to say. It really is. And so no doctor is going to be able to say, hey, this is what your child's feeling. Hey, this is what's really going on. Why? Why are they not able to do that? Because they haven't gone through it. Point blank. They haven't gone through it. So the next limiting belief that potentially is a trigger for you is I've had this type of alopecia, or I have this type of alopecia, and I'm a special case and it will be harder for me. So a lot of times this happens to be for those who are frontal fibrosing alopecia or LLP alopecia or some type of scarring alopecia. And I would like to recommend episode 10, I believe, where Dolores is a client of mine, and I interview her in episode 10. And she is Caribbean, African American, and we talk about her type of alopecia, what all her doctors had said to her. They told her her follicles were dead. They told her there was no hope. There was nothing she can do. And that, like, this is it, done. Like, you're going to go bald. And she found me, and guess what? She started growing her hair. And it wasn't just the beginning. It's continued to grow. This interview is actually a year later of her doing the program. And a year later, she continued to see the hair growth. And she was told all these things. She decided to not believe the doctor. She decided and took it upon herself to find something else. And so what I'm trying to say here is, again, don't believe everything you're told. You know, we're all human. We all make mistakes. Many times there's a misdiagnosis. Many times you can see 10 doctors and each doctor is going to have their own opinion of what type of alopecia you are. At the end of the day, it's not about the type of alopecia. At the end of the day, it's about what you are doing for your health. What are you doing to move the needle? What are you doing to invest in yourself, to take care of yourself, to put in more effort into yourself? Because if you have alopecia, if you have hair loss, if you have XYZ type of hair loss, more than likely you are living a life, you are doing something that's not agreeing with your body, right? Or else you wouldn't have the hair loss. That's really what it comes down to. You are doing something currently that your body is not agreeing with. And many times you don't know. This is why we have blind spots. I talk about this in episode 3. So review episode 3, just in case you don't know what blind spots are. But many times the scarring alopecia is misdiagnosed. Many times you could also catch it at a time where there's so much more you can still do. So instead of just kind of like giving up hope, why not go for it and do as much as you can? There's an author. Her name is JJ Virgin, and she wrote a book. And in her book of health and wellness, she described how she was a single mom of 2, and her son had just had a car accident. He was hit by a car, and he had like a 2% chance of surviving this head injury, this car accident. 2% chance. She betted on herself, and she bet on her child. She did everything possible. I forget where she lived, but they had to helicopter him out to the nearest, bigger hospital of the region of where she lived. This was in the US somewhere. And after like many weeks and months of rehab and surgeries and this and that, her son made it out, not just alive, but like so much better than before. And he only had a 2% chance. And many times it's up to us. Parents, you know this. It's up to the parent, or it's up to you, the adult, to take the decision of what chance are you going to give yourself? What chance are you going to give your son or daughter? What chance are you going to give yourself to thrive, to heal? What opportunity? If I only had a 1% chance, I would still take it. Would you? Would you take that 1% chance? So JJ Virgin took the 2% chance and ran with it. And I mean, she came out on the other side so much better. I mean, granted, there was a lot of hard work. There's a lot of rehab in her son's case because of the severity of the injuries, et cetera. But her son is like 100% normal, 100% back, going to school, graduated, et cetera, went on to live a normal, healthy life. And this series of events is giving you a choice. It's a fork in the road. It really is. Alopecia is a fork in the road. What option do you want? Do you want the medication route that's not going to give you the results, but maybe make you feel better about it? Or do you want to take the chance on betting on yourself? This actually rolls into another limiting belief. I get this question here and there of, is there a money back guarantee? And it's a question that it's a reasonable question, right? But if you think about it, in healthcare, there are no money back guarantees. There are so many people who have died for medical malpractice because the surgery was not the surgery that they should have had, because the doctor made a mistake, because the medicine didn't work well with the body, because the body rejected the new organ, because the body rejected the medication, because there was a certain situation where there was a blood clot, or something else came up, and you lose the patient and you lose the person that we're trying to help, or you leave them in a severe disability. And you see that with various causes and in various things. And many times it's also medical mistakes that has happened. There's a history of this. There was a medication back in like the 40s, I want to say 40s and 50s. I can get this information for you, but that they were giving it to women. They were giving it to women while they were pregnant. And supposedly it was supposed to stop the nausea. Supposedly it was supposed to help the morning sickness. And lo and behold, for like that next 6 months to a year, all those women who were taking that medication during pregnancy had babies without limbs, all of them. And they all were born without limbs, without arms, without legs. And as a parent, you can only imagine how devastating that is. But even just the thought of it really, really gets to me, And I feel for them because many times we believe in authority. We believe in our medical establishment. We believe in our governments. We believe in so many things that we think that they're telling us the truth, that they're doing the best for us. But this is where you need to take back your control. This is where you need to do more of the research and ask more questions and advocate for yourself, because there was no way for the doctors to know that this was a bad alternative to morning sickness when, pharmaceutical companies are pushing it, right? And these are medical mistakes that are in history that you can look up, that has happened time and time and time again. And it continues to happen today. I just read an article the other day about doctors in Sudan or in Gambia, one of the two countries, where they were giving out these medications, again, to pregnant women. And there's all these negative side effects. There's all these negative ramifications. And so I always say less is more when it comes to medications. Less is more. And sometimes you really need it, and I get it. But many times, diet and lifestyle does the trick. Many times, it's really understanding our bodies and how to support it that does the trick. And it's not one day over the next, but over months, you can see change. And I've seen it within my clients. It's not just the hair growth, but also their thyroid, also their hormones, also their PCOS, also the menopause, also the imbalances that they're having, also the back acne, also, the PMS cramps, also, the depression, anxiety. All these things can lift when we learn to support the body. So it's not about the type of alopecia. It's about how much are you willing to bet on yourself. It's not about the money back guarantee. It's about what are you willing to do to put yourself first? What are you willing to do to make this the best possible choice for you, the best possible opportunity for you to learn and to take action? It's not about the money back guarantee when literally I bet on myself. My clients bet on themselves. Yes, I'm here to guide you and support you, but at the same time, you're also betting on yourself. The other limiting belief that I wanted to say was that, quote unquote, I've had it for so many years and there's nothing that can be done. And it's not true. You can have had alopecia for 40 years, 50 years, or just 5 days, and you can still do something about it. There's always something to do. As long as you're breathing, as long as your heart is beating, you can do something to improve your health. Every day we have a choice. Do we boost our health or do we bring it down? Do we want to move the needle just a little bit incrementally, or are we trying to hold ourselves back and just like be in our comfort zone? It's really up to us. It really is. And a lot of times also another limiting belief is, oh, I've had too many other health conditions. I have, A, B, C, all the way to Z health conditions plus alopecia. And regardless of whether you're just dealing with hair loss or you are dealing with a handful or more of other health conditions, many of these things resolve once, the ball starts rolling, once the domino effect starts of getting healthy. And it's kind of like a flood, right? When you have a dam, that's what's going on, right? There's a dam and we're holding the water against it. And the hair growth is not getting the nutrients it needs. It's not getting the health, the vitality it needs, right? And it's not thriving. It's dying, right? It's falling. It's coming out in clumps. You're going bald. You're losing your eyelashes and every other hair on your body. There's a dam that's holding up everything against it. Once you open up the dam just a little bit and you're able to get things through, you're able to get health and wellness through, supporting your body on all levels, then you start to see the hair growth sprout. Then you're starting to see your health, your vitality, your energy, everything becomes revitalized. That's how it is. It's a domino effect. It's not just, for all of you who go to the gym or who work out, you can't just say, oh, I want to lose weight from my neck, only my neck. I have a really fatty neck and I just want to lose weight from the back of my neck. That's not going to work. There are no quote unquote exercises that will say or help you just to lose fat from one part of the body. Now, can we tone it? Yes, we can tone our arms. We can tone our forearms, our shoulders, our back, our legs, our calves, etc. Yes, we can. But if we're trying to spot and say, oh, I just want to lose weight here, it's not going to happen. Because when you start losing weight, you start to lose weight all over, off your hips, off your thighs, off your abs, off your arms, off of even your fingers, right? I've noticed this. When I was pregnant, my fingers got a little, chubbier. And now that I've lost that weight, it's like all my rings are loose again. And so this is what happens, right? You can't just say, oh, I want to lose the weight off my face. No, it's an overall situation where once you start the process, everything starts to heal. Everything starts to upgrade. Everything starts to up level. So don't let these limiting beliefs hold you back from what you want in life. And a lot of times it's us. It's 100% us. Us believing in others and what they say, us taking on their mental and, projected garbage, just like saying someone telling me, oh, you're going to get alopecia back. No, I'm not, because I have the keys to success, because I know exactly what I need to do to make sure alopecia doesn't come back. This is what I teach. And in the grand scheme of things, believing these people, taking on their projections and, their negative energy doesn't help you at all. More than that, it's just holding you back. So don't hold yourself back from your true future, from the future self that you really want. And limiting beliefs will do that. The blind spots will do that. That's episode 3. For those of you with scarring alopecia, especially the frontal fibrosis alopecia, I've had many of you contact me. It's all about giving yourself that chance. It's all about giving yourself that opportunity. So what? Who cares what the doctor said? Move the needle. Take action for yourself. No one else is going to do this for you but you. If you're the parent doing this for the child, okay, the parent's doing it for the child. I get that. But you're the adult who's going through this. You're going through FFA, you're going through LLP, you're going through androgenetic alopecia, you're going through any type of alopecia under the sun that you think that there's no hope for, that you think that you've been told that that's it, your follicles are dead and there's nothing more to do. Well, I'd say put all of what everyone else has told you, put it aside and bet on yourself. When you bet on yourself, you only have yourself to blame. I've personally been a person of like individual sports. I love Serena and I love Venus Williams as well, because it's an individual sport. Tennis is an individual sport. And when you do an individual sport, you bet on yourself. You bet on yourself to produce the results that you want. You bet on yourself for your discipline. You bet on yourself to make all those accomplishments. I can think back to the Olympics and think about Michael Phelps and the amazing job that he did in 1 year, having like 8 gold medals, if not more. And it's incredible what you're able to do when you bet on yourself. You do everything for yourself and the results show. In team sports, my husband's on a team sport. In team sports, it's not like that. You can do everything possible within your realm, but you can't control others. You can't control, what they eat, how they live, what they're doing, what they're thinking, what they're feeling. You can't. You can help them. You can tutor them. You can train them. You can, uplift them. You can be their cheerleader. But in team sports, you're just as good as the team. But when you bet on yourself, and this is where alopecia is a individual game. When you bet on yourself, the possibilities are endless. The possibilities are at your fingertips. And your success is inevitable. Your success is inevitable because you're not counting on anyone but yourself. You're not counting on anyone to give you, feedback or food or anything else. It's all on you. And that's the beauty of an individual sport. And I would have to say that alopecia is an individual sport. No one can help you. No one can help you get that grand slam. No one can help you get and, make it to the championships or the biggest tournament. Tiger Woods had to do it all by himself. Serena and Venus had to do it by themselves. Michael Phelps by himself. It's not a team sport. It's you against alopecia. And I'm telling you now, you can win. I'm telling you now, it's possible for you. I'm telling you now, you're wasting time. You're wasting time not taking action. You're wasting time not taking the help, not taking the proven, tried and true path. And I say this because I've seen so many clients follow me for years. And then they join and then they see results in less than 4 weeks, 3 weeks. It's all up to you. You have the power in your hands. And with that, thank you so much for listening. I can't wait to talk to you on the next podcast, and rate and review. I would love to see your reviews. Rate and review. Give me a thumbs up. And I look forward to speaking to you on the next time. Take care.
Thank you for listening to the Alopecia Angel podcast, a positive light in healing alopecia. You can do this and we can help. Spread the word that reversing alopecia is possible by telling your friends and family.